Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Caboose XBL bringing you another Batman Arkham Origins video, and what you're seeing in the background is some Batman Arkham City gameplay. It's just some whatever gameplay. I'm gliding around, fighting thugs, and just doing whatever. But let's get right into the commentary topic. What we're going to be talking about today is 5 things that I want out of Batman Arkham Origins. Now, these are just 5 things that I am, hoping for, and 5 things that I'm sure a lot of us really do want to see in Arkham Origins. Let's start off with number 1. Number 1 is a good story. Now, with the Arkham games, the biggest thing about it is the fact that there is an extremely detailed and very well done story. And so far as from what we've seen, Arkham Origins is definitely not going to be any less than that. I know a lot of people were very skeptical about the fact that, with the multiplayer being announced, there was going to be maybe a little less focus on the single player. Well, we can put that behind now knowing that Splash Damage, a completely different company, is going to be working on the multiplayer as opposed to WB Games Montreal working on the single player. So, with that said, once again, I want a really good story in Arkham Origins. I don't want it to just be simple and bland, 8 assassins coming after you, that's that. And hearing that not all 8 assassins are going to be a part of the main story, hopefully that means that we're really going to get something more than just these assassins coming after you. And that's what really excites me. So, yeah, number 1 is that it needs to have a good story. And by the way, this is not in any particular order. I'm just naming off 5 things that came off the top of my head and that, I can really relate to in terms of the fans and stuff like that. So, number 2 is that I want unique boss battles. Now, the best part in Arkham City was the Mr. Freeze boss battle. It was creepy, it was intense, and you had to stay on your feet and use your head during the battle. And that was it was one of the greatest battles, one of the greatest boss battles in any game ever, hands down. And the best thing about Arkham Origins is that they are using that boss battle, the Mr. Freeze boss battle, as inspiration for the boss battles in this game. So, from what we've seen from the Firefly trailer, it definitely looks like it's going to be very unique. You're going to be hanging on to him, doing some stuff like that. The Copperhead part in that Firefly trailer where it was showing what was happening with her, basically it seems like she's going to poison you, and you're going to see multiple versions of her, and you got to fight them off and stuff like that. And it definitely seems so far from what we're seeing that the boss battles are going to be unique. But what I'm saying is, it can't just be same old, punch him up, hit him, and that's done. I want to see, just like the Mr. Freeze boss battle, where I've got to think on my feet, and I've got to hurry up with what my next move is. I can't just sit there and, strategically plan out my entire outline before I even get into the boss battle. I want to be like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do? Oh, okay, maybe I can use this to do that, and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, so I want to see very unique and innovative boss battles for sure. Number 3 on my list is replay value. The number 1 thing you got to have in games in general is replay value. Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, they got it. How, you ask? You're like, well, that's just single-player games. This game's obviously going to have it. Well, no. Not a lot of people are very fond of multiplayer. Not a lot of people can even play on the multiplayer. So the replay value has got to come in both from the multiplayer experience and in the single player experience. They are 2 separate things. So, like I said, in the Arkham Asylum and Arkham City games, there was a lot of replay value, because of the fact that there was the riddles and the Riddler trophies. And that got me playing for days on end. To this day, I still haven't collected every Riddler trophy and solved every riddle in Arkham Asylum. Yeah, for sure in Arkham Asylum, but to this day, I haven't completed everything in Arkham City. And it's been 3 years after its release, I think. So that'll definitely tell you something, and I just keep coming back. It's not just the challenge maps. The challenge maps, they're fun and stuff, but they really get frustrating when you get to the more advanced ones. So it's got to be replay value within the single player and along with the multiplayer. From what I can say, it seems so far that the multiplayer will have a good replay value. Number 4 is that I want the detective work to be done to a T this time. In Arkham Asylum, you got a couple things. I don't really remember it too fondly, but from what I remember, you didn't have too many moments where you had to do detective work. Like, not really super Batman type of detective work, And in Arkham City, it was more of hand-to-hand combat than it was detective work. There were a few missions, like the Hush side mission was mainly based off of detective work, and you got, I think, 2 parts in the story where you had to do a little bit in detective mode. But for the most part, it's all about hand-to-hand combat. So what I want in this game is really like puzzling detective work, Kind of like in the Uncharted games, you got to do these cool puzzles and stuff like that. That could work so perfectly in an Arkham game because of, the whole detective work. Rewinding like moments in time and trying to find where a bullet hits somebody, the exact trajectory of the bullet, doing all this really intricate and strategic stuff where you got to use your brain for once, right? And I want that for sure. The detective work has got to be like a puzzle in a game, and hopefully we can get that. But last, certainly not least, on my list of the 5 things that I want to see in Batman Arkham Origins is the Easter eggs. In Arkham Asylum, in Arkham City, there is no shortage of them. And so far, from the very first trailer, seeing the Queen Industries on the toolbox lets me know that this game isn't just going to smack things right in your face, but it's going to really, hopefully, the way the first 2 games did, make you look deep into the dark corners of the game to find really cool and intricate Easter eggs. Kind of like how in the beginning of Arkham City, the first thing you see is a picture of Cain and Abel, carrying the man. And how this is an Easter egg is because at the very end of the game, it's Batman holding Joker the same way. And it's these very, very mind-blowing type of Easter eggs that I want to see in Arkham Origins. Things like little Easter eggs to maybe the Falcones, or maybe we get like an Easter egg towards, obviously, Dick Grayson, not Robin, but Dick Grayson, or the Flying Graysons. Maybe we get an Easter egg to Scarecrow with like a name, Jonathan Crane, somewhere. And just Easter eggs like that, where they're very, very, tiny Easter eggs that are extremely hard to find, but just make you go, holy shit, that was in the game when you find them. And that's just about it. So those are the 5 things that I want in Batman Arkham Origins. Let's go off from 1 to 5. Number 1 is I want a good story. Number 2, I want unique and innovative boss battles. Number 3, there's got to be replay value in both the single player and the multiplayer. 2 different replay value type of experiences. Number 4, it's got to have really intricate detective work. And number 5, Easter eggs. So tell me what your thoughts are on this down below. Do you agree with my list? What do you want to see in Batman Arkham Origins? I would love to hear that in the comments below. Other than that, I'm CaboosXBL. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.